Finding a great ride cymbal is definitely the hardest piece of gear to find as a drummer. It can be really intimidating and it can take tons of hours to find a great cymbal. So here's a short guide to get you into buying a ride cymbal. Alright you guys, so I've compiled a list of 3 main rules you need to know before you start buying a ride cymbal. So number 1 is you always need to play a cymbal before you buy it. And this is with the exception of buying a used cymbal, because sometimes you can come across a deal that you can never come across in person. And if you're buying a cymbal for like $100 or something like that, that's a different story. But right now I'm mostly talking about buying a brand new cymbal. Always play a brand new cymbal before you buy one. Don't go on Zildjian's or Bosphorus's or Istanbul Agop's website and just buy the cymbal that you've heard sound good, because there's a very, very good chance that that cymbal is going to sound like shit when you buy it. So always play a new cymbal before you buy it. Rule number 2, always play it with your own sticks. Don't use the sticks in Guitar Center in your local drum shop. Bring your own sticks in. Use the sticks that you're actually going to play the drums with, because sticks are one of the most important things to getting a good ride cymbal sound. So you want to play with the sticks that you're actually going to be using, because different sticks make a cymbal sound completely different. So always play a cymbal with your own sticks when you're thinking about buying it. Rule number 3 is be patient, because it takes a long time to find a good ride cymbal. I've bought a massive amount of ride cymbals. I've spent all my gig money for years and years and years on ride cymbals. And it can be very rewarding, and it can be very, very, very shitty to buy a cymbal that you have not played, and then you get it and it sounds like shit, and you just drop $600 or even $700 on it. I've done this, so learn from my mistakes and be patient when you're buying cymbals. Okay, with those 3 rules out of the way, let's get some things out of the way that you need to do before buying a cymbal. First of all, you need to play as many cymbals as humanly possible before you start going out and trying to buy a cymbal. Go to jam sessions and play people's cymbals, figure out which ones you like, especially which ones you like the feel of. The feel of a cymbal is actually way more important than you might think, because the stick feel and the way it bounces off the cymbal is a really, really great way into figuring out actually how it's going to sound too. A lot of cymbals are a little more wobbly, and that creates one sound. Some cymbals are really rigid, that creates another sound. And you need to play a bunch of different cymbals and figure out which ones you like the feel and sound of before you actually go and try to start buying one. Go out to some jam sessions, play people's cymbals, go over to your drummer buddy's house or your drum teacher's house and play some of his cymbals, ask him to take out some of their cymbals and let you play them. That's the first thing you need to do before even going, is play as many cymbals as you possibly can. And worst comes to worst, if you don't have any drum friends, you don't have a drum teacher or anything like that, you can just go to a drum shop and play as many cymbals as you can, but play a ton of cymbals before you go in to try to buy something. The next thing I highly recommend doing before going into a store and trying to buy a cymbal is find a bunch of recordings that you love the cymbal sound on and try to replicate this with the cymbals that you're gonna buy. So I love the cymbal sound of different drummers on many different recordings. Just off the top of my head, I love Jimmy Cobb's ride cymbal sound on Miles Davis Live at the Black Hawk. I love Bill Stewart's cymbal sound on many different records. He has incredible cymbals. I love Greg Hutchinson's cymbal sound on a Ray Brown Trio record. Go out and listen to the recordings that you love and think of the cymbal that they might have been using, or try to replicate that cymbal sound with another cymbal that you're playing. Check those out, and then you'll start to really narrow down what kind of cymbal you want to buy. So number 3 that I recommend you do before you go in to buy a cymbal is going to talk to other drummers about how they select their ride cymbals. Many older drummers will have a really specific process and a really specific way that they'll go out to buy other cymbals, because more often than not, really old drummers are the people that are going to have the coolest cymbals, so you're going to want to get their opinion on how they got those and what they look for when they're going in to buy a cymbal. So number 4, before going in to buy a cymbal, no pun intended, is familiarizing yourself with the weights of the cymbals. So for instance, for 22-inch rides, I usually try to find a ride cymbal between 2,000 grams and around like 2,600 grams. And sometimes they'll be on either side of that, usually not too much lighter than that. But sometimes they'll be a little heavier than 2,600 grams. I have one cymbal that's definitely heavier than that, and it still sounds great. So this doesn't matter that much, but you still want to know the kind of weight range you want to be in. Usually anything over 3,000 grams is ridiculously heavy, so I steer clear of that. Same kind of thing with a 20-inch. I'm not as familiar with those weight ranges. If you like a 20-inch cymbal that's 1,900 grams, take note of that and start thinking about where you might like a 20-inch cymbal in weight range wise. So yeah, start to check out weight ranges of different cymbals. Another thing that I really wish people told me before I started going into buy cymbals is, despite a cymbal being the exact same weight, being the exact same model, and even hammered the exact same way, even machine hammered the exact same way as another cymbal, it might not sound anywhere near the other cymbal you played that is even the exact same weight. So every single cymbal is different and unique. It might be brand new, it might have been played for 20 years, who knows? But every single cymbal is completely unique. Even if it's one 18-inch A custom crash versus another 18-inch A custom crash that is the same exact weight, they're gonna sound completely different, I promise you. And once you start going out and playing different cymbals, you'll see what I mean, but every single cymbal is unique. Never try to go out and buy a cymbal that's the exact weight of another one and expect it to sound exactly the same. So the last tip I have for you guys before going out to buy a cymbal is find a great local drum shop. I've found some great local drum shops in Denver, Colorado. My favorite one by far is Drum City Guitarland. Those guys always have a great selection of cymbals, so if you're in Denver, go check them out. But anyways, wherever you are, try to find a great local drum shop that'll help you out, help you try to find a great ride cymbal, will let you play whatever you want. Find a great local drum shop and play as many cymbals as you possibly can in that shop. So guys, without any further ado, here is my 2020 cymbal collection. I'm gonna play each of my ride cymbals a little bit, and some of them I absolutely love. Some of these I play every day and I don't think I'm ever gonna get rid of, but some of these kind of just sit in the bags. Some of these I've spent like $600 on brand new, and I basically never played these because I just don't really like the sound of these very much. Maybe you will absolutely love them, and maybe let me know. I might be selling some of these if somebody really, really loves these. So anyways, you guys, here is my 2020 cymbal collection. Alright, you guys, comment down below which one of those ride cymbals are your favorite. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you go down below and click like, click subscribe if you want to see more weekly videos like this. And thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.